Hello, everybody! Welcome back to 4 Down Territory. Parents just dropped a chicken on my shoe. That sounds really weird in the podcast, but it's okay because we are back for episode 9 today, and we are giving you, after this episode, after you're done listening to this episode, if you go right now on YouTube, after this episode, not right now, just hold on a second, all right? On YouTube, there's going to be a bonus episode, and never before seen, never released episode of 4 Down Territory on there with Owen Paiva.
Oh my God.
Oh my God is right. Let's get right into the news, Paris.
Yep.
All right, our first story here today is about Ryan Shazier, and yes, this is a very controversial topic. It's very sad, Paris. During last Monday's Monday Night Football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals, the Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier went to make a tackle on wide receiver Josh Malone and proceeded to not get up. Turns out he was partially paralyzed in his lower half of his body. Ryan Shazier just underwent spinal stabilization surgery to fix a spinal contortion in his lower back. Football is a really scary sport sometimes. At moments like these, we get to see it firsthand. Also, I have to point out that the entire game last Monday was a total dirty game. There was a suspension on Juju Smith-Schuster for targeting Vontaze Burfict and taking him out. And there was also a suspension for a head-to-head collision. But also that suspension for the head-to-head was appealed, and now he has to pay like a $35 million fine.
Think about it. So the Steelers are a pretty top team at the moment.
Yeah, they're up there.
Whenever a team gets that high up, lower teams will start to target major players because they know that they have no chance, but they don't. I know that a Ravens player once did that, where they targeted. What was the team? There was a targeting incident last year with Ravens versus someone, and I don't remember what happened, but targeting sucked.
So, yeah, I mean, just in general, I think, I don't know, this was a pretty scary injury to talk about, Paris. It
was horrifying.
Yeah, you saw the video?
Yeah, I did.
To be, partially paralyzed, the lower half of your body, I mean, I watched it, okay, and it didn't even look that bad. But, he got carted off the field. You saw no movement in his legs or whatever. Everybody was kind of... But then, after the whole injury happened, you'd think everybody would kind of calm down, right? No, it just led to more fights. The Bengals and the Steelers have the nastiest rivalry I've ever seen in the NFL. It's not even... I always thought... excuse me. I always thought that Steelers-Ravens was the nastiest rivalry.
Those are really dangerous. Especially with Terrell Suggs. I think last year...
He just he went after a player, right?
You might have heard a censor there by accident. It was definitely not me. So Terrell Suggs, it was definitely after the play. He kind of just went up to... How do I not know Ben? And he just threw him to the ground for no reason.
I do remember
that. But that's just what rivalries do.
That was probably the sloppiest story we've ever talked about in our entire life. Moving on here. Seattle hockey team ? After just introducing a new hockey team this year in Las Vegas, the NHL is looking to find the last team to expand to even out the Eastern and Western conferences, because the Western team is missing a team. I think the Eastern Conference has 16 teams and the Western Conference only has 15. So they have officially given the green light to the city of Seattle to turn in an application for an expansion team in the city. The expansion fee for Seattle is set to be around $650 million. And earlier this week, the city of Seattle just accepted a $600 million renovation to their Key, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Key Arena in Seattle, which used to be the home of the Seattle Supersonics, if anybody knows that basketball team that was around in the 90s, and then they left. But I have a picture here of the renovation. You're not going to see it, but we have a picture here, and from what we can see, this looks like it's going to be a beautiful stadium. And I'm super excited for this. Also, I forgot to mention, too, this is probably going to put an end to an expansion team in the city of Quebec, which they could still get a team if the Arizona Coyotes decide to move, but I don't know if that's going to happen right now.
So the picture on our screen, is that like what they think it's going to look like?
No, that's what the
that's what it's already
That's what it's going to look. It doesn't already look like that, but that's like the building structure. That's the outline, basically.
It looks nice.
Yeah, it looks very like they got multiple levels to the rows here, so it could fit. I'm not sure the amount of fans that it can fit in there, but it seems like it could fit a good quantity of people in there for a hockey game. And I think Seattle's going to be a very popular city when it comes to hockey. I mean, they have the Seahawks, right? And the Seattle Mariners, but that's about it. Football and baseball. And now they got a hockey team, so I mean, it's going to be a lot of exciting things going on in Seattle.
To be honest, I've never heard that baseball team in my entire life, but I did hear about Seahawks, and they are a loud team.
I promise you, Paris is a sports fan. He just hasn't heard of the Seattle Mariners.
Because I don't care really much about baseball. Well, it comes around to like playoff time is when I care about baseball. It's just like, also with hockey, it's like once regular season's here, it's just like, it's so long.
Baseball is a dying sport, though, so we can't.
It is, definitely. But like, even with basketball, it's just like, the seasons are so long. With hockey, the seasons are so long. It's like, football is, I feel like, but then it would take all the,
Are you excited for a Vancouver Canucks and Seattle, whatever they're going to be, rivalry? That's what I'm most excited for.
You think that's going to happen?
Vancouver and Seattle already hate each other.
Maybe.
It's going to literally be Bengals Steelers all over again, but in the NHL.
What do you think?
Either that or it's going to be they're going to have a rivalry with the LA Kings because Washington and LA doesn't really like each other as it stands now either.
Do you know anything about college hockey?
No.
Well,
I know a little bit. I know that the Quinnipiac Bobcats have a pretty good hockey team, but that's it.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. If we knew more about that, we could have talked about who we think could get into the Seattle, or they might draft.
They're going to have another expansion draft where they take one player from each team.
Yeah, I know that, but like, I was just trying to see like who would you think could be on the team?
At that point, around
2020, it has to
we're
be
talking
young,
2020 now. Like
young players.
It has to be young players, yeah. I don't know. A lot of things can change over the years, so I can't really make a prediction on it right now. But I think when that time comes, we could talk a little more about it.
Who's a backup for the Rangers?
There's a lot of backups. Like,
I don't think I'm actually going to get rid of, because what's his name is coming.
Maybe, just maybe. We're talking 2020 here, right? The Rangers could be done with Lundqvist at that point.
Definitely.
So.
Sorry, pushing like mid-40s, right?
I mean, well, no.
How old is he? He's definitely in his 40s now.
Excuse me. No, he's like 34, I think.
Is he really that young?
I think so.
I thought he was older.
We're going to have to do a little research here. But while we do that, we're going to move on to the next topic. We got a lot of catching up to do. It's been a long time since we've done an episode of 4 Down Territory, and we sincerely apologize for that. We got thrown off by the Thanksgiving week, and then because there was just half days and all that stuff, and we are at a school here, ladies and gentlemen, so Yeah. The college football playoffs have been announced, and we are super never mind. In the Rose Bowl, it will be number 3. It will be number 3 Georgia taking on number 2 Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. And in the never mind. Sorry, in the Rose Bowl, number 3 Georgia versus number 2 Oklahoma. In the Sugar Bowl, it is Alabama versus Clemson Part 3. Both of these games look fantastic on paper. Neither one of them seems to be a blowout game. Of course, we won't know that until the day of January 1st comes. But a lot of fans are upset at the committee for putting Alabama in over Ohio State. And here's my opinion on this, okay? My opinion on this is that, look, Ohio State, we were never really going to know how good they were. Sure, they won the Big Ten championship against Wisconsin. Wisconsin was, in my opinion, a fake team all along. Sure, they were undefeated, but all their opponents weren't ranked in the top 10 ever. So there's that, and also, like, 1 week Ohio State would come out and they would look like the number 1 team in the country, and then next week they'd get blown out by, like, 55 points to Iowa. So there's no really, like, you can't have a college football playoff without Alabama in it. Like, so
Alabama.
All of you people out there that are upset about Ohio State getting in, you could get over it because Nick Saban and that team deserves to be in there all along.
I didn't say it. He said it. No shade towards me, please. That's big words. That's big words.
What's your opinion on it, Paris?
All right. I don't care much about it. But Alabama versus Clemson, that's going to be part 3. I did see the first time they played, and you got a lot of
Onside kick, yeah. Started
but,
the fourth quarter.
Clemson, they have played big teams. That's why they're at number 1. Like Alabama, the reason why they were at number 1 for a while is because they were playing teams that weren't as big, but they were playing teams and they were winning constantly.
Exactly, and that's a fantastic point to hit on because Alabama, that's the reason that people thought they shouldn't get in is because their only good game was against LSU, and LSU wasn't even ranked in the top 25 in this last rankings.
Well, that's why. Who'd they lose to?
They lost to Auburn. That was their first big test of the year.
Beat them. So, yeah, it was.
The only good game they had this year, they lost, which is why we're not making game predictions today, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be something for when the time comes. But if I have to say one thing that kind of spoils my prediction here, the only good game Alabama played this year, they lost, which is why I'm not scared at all to face them in the first game. I'm a Clemson fan, by the way, but I'm not scared for my team to go up against theirs at all.
Also, this will be the person who has the better win-loss ratio in this situation because Alabama won the first, Clemson won the second.
Well, you know what? I don't understand ESPN and the Las Vegas betting committee or whatever they do out there.
Betting?
Yeah, betting. Literally, they bet on all the games or whatever, and then they take the stats and they figure out who's projected to win more than the other team. Yeah. And right now, Alabama is projected to beat Clemson by over 2 points.
Really?
It doesn't make sense to me either. The only reason that I'd see Alabama having a chance in this game is because they have they have the second best coach in college football. Dabo Swinney's number 1, Nick Saban's number 2, but you're giving Nick Saban an entire month to game plan for this one game. That is the only reason I see this going poorly. So, a preview of this game, Kelly Bryant, the quarterback of the Clemson Tigers, is probably going to be a huge factor in this game. Can he step up against the best defense he's probably faced all year? And you already know that Clemson's defense is going to have fun messing with Jalen Hurts and Bo Scarborough and that Alabama offense. Clemson's defense is stellar as they were last year. So it should be a good game to watch, and we can't wait to watch it here on 4 Down territory.
Clemson, We're not doing predictions. That's right.
We're not doing predictions. NFL Week 14 preview, ladies and gentlemen. Another great week of NFL is upon us, and playoffs are just about here. All the teams are fighting to get in, and all the teams that are already basically in are fighting to stay there. So let's get into the big games of the week. This week starting off with the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Carolina to take on Cam Newton and the Panthers in what should be an offensive shootout. Both teams sitting above 500 right now, and for the Panthers, this is a must-win at home to prove to the world that they're not a joke team because last week some might say they got exposed by the Saints pretty badly. And, you know, if there's any time you need to wake up, it's right now, Panthers. Next, we have the Eagles.
They're not in prediction, are they?
Who?
Panthers? Are they in the prediction right now?
What do you mean prediction? The playoffs? Oh, yeah, they are in the playoffs right now as it stands, as it would end right now. Eagles, Rams, two juggernaut teams facing off on one another to prove their dominance in the NFC. The Eagles sit at the number 2 seed right now at 10-2, while the Rams have the number 3 seed at 9-3. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks coming to Jacksonville. We finally get to talk about my Jacksonville Jaguars on this show. The Jaguars actually have a chance to clinch the playoffs this weekend, but it's going to be really hard because they need to win this game, and then the rest of the world needs to lose. LOL. That's hilarious. Funny. Can the Jags defense contain Russell Wilson? We shall see, Paris. Sunday Night Football, a big playoff race matchup. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Paris, this is a record show for us here. We get to talk about the Ravens and the Jaguars in one show. What? This game will be in Pittsburgh, and then Monday Night Football. Not really a game, but I just wanted to scream Monday Night Football. Patriots go to Miami to take on the garbage Dolphins. Let's make our picks. Vikings versus the Panthers. Who are you taking, Paris?
Viking. Just keep going. Just
go
ask
again.
another one.
Just say, I'm going to say Vikings.
I'm going to say Vikings.
Okay.
Do you agree with me?
I'm going to say Panthers. I have a feeling that the Panthers are going to upset the Minnesota Vikings. I do. Eagles versus Rams. No wildfires.
Eagles, probably.
I think the Rams got this one at home. I really think that Jared Goff is going to have a fantastic game against the Eagles. They got exposed last week in Seattle. So, Seahawks and Jaguars.
I'm going to say Jaguars. Both teams are pretty average. Jaguars, though, are at home. They're going to not have – Seahawks are going to have their fans yelling at the Jaguars to, get them scared.
I think you don't even need to hear my prediction. I'm obviously going with the Jaguars here. Yeah. Ravens Steelers. All right. I'm going to take the Ravens. And the reason I'm taking the Ravens is because they're extremely competitive with getting into the playoffs right now. They're at 7-5, right? They're at 7-5. They're just trying to get in. They're trying to get in.
Yeah, but I am a Ravens fan. We're going up against one of the best in our day. God dang it.
You're going up against one of the best in your what?
We're going up against the best in one of our...
Division. Your division, yes.
This just makes me sad because I know we're going to lose tonight. And the thought of the game happening and...
Moving on from the depressing stuff, Patriots versus Dolphins. I think I'm going to take Dolphins. No, just kidding.
I'm
Patriots.
Say Patriots.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy there to say Patriots.
An opinion that isn't.
Yeah, it's not far fetched at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to episode 9 of 4 Down Territory, and don't forget, go check out YouTube right now. We have a bonus episode with Owen Paiva, who goes to Penn State. And he is on the Penn State radio, but he came back to law to give us some good pointers this was from a couple weeks ago, so it's a little outdated. Please excuse that, but it's still a lot of fun anyway. Check it out, please. Follow us on Twitter at 4DownT, and we will see you next Friday. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.
If you hear cuts, it was my fault. My bad.
Yo, where's the... Oh, never mind.